only 4 entities have launched a space capsule into orbit and successfully brought it back: the United States, Russia, China, and Elon Musk.
Yeah, I was born in Pretoria, South Africa, lived in Johannesburg and Durban as well. Was able to travel to a few countries growing up within Africa, and I read a lot of comics, Green Lantern, Iron Man, but I read everything, like Doctor Strange. If there was a comic on the rack, I read it. And books and stuff, and it always seems like, and stuff, and things on technology, and it always seemed like when there's cool technology or things happening, it was kind of in the United States. So my goal as a kid was to try to get to America, basically.
I have heard a lot of people describe you. How do you describe yourself?
I usually describe myself as an engineer. That's basically what I've been doing since I was a kid. I'm interested in things that change the world or that affect the future in wondrous new technology, where you see it and you're like, wow, how did that even happen? How's that possible?
How is it possible that Elon Musk could launch 2 impossible businesses, SpaceX, a builder of rocket ships, and Tesla, which could be the first successful car company startup in America in 90 years?
How did you figure you were going to start a car company and be successful at it?
Well, I didn't really think Tesla would be successful. I thought we would most likely fail. But I thought that we at least could address the false perception that people had that an electric car had to be ugly and slow and boring like a golf cart.
But you say you didn't expect the company to be successful, then why try?
If something's important enough, you should try, even if the probable outcome is failure.
Musk may be changing the car the way Steve Jobs changed the phone.
I had so many people try to talk me out of starting a rocket company. It was crazy.
What did they tell you?
One good friend of mine collected a whole series of videos of rockets blowing up and made me watch those. He just didn't want me to lose all my money.
But now Musk is lofting commercial satellites and flying cargo to the space station for NASA at a fraction of the former cost. But at the age of 37, he hit rock bottom. His first rockets failed to reach orbit, and an early model Tesla Roadster had quality problems.
In 2008, the rocket company is not going well. You've had 3 failures.
Great.
The car company is hemorrhaging money.
Yeah.
And the American economy has tanked in the worst recession since the Great Depression.
Right.
What was that year like for you?
And I'm getting divorced, by the way, to add to that. That was definitely the worst year of my life.
That terrible year was captured in a documentary called Revenge of the Electric Car. His plant was filled with flawed cars that couldn't be delivered.
One of the cars we rejected for...
Holy mackerel. Jesus. We have like an army of cars here. Like, Jesus.
I'm looking like we're going to be able to deliver 4 cars to the sales team.
This is frightening. It's really pedal to the metal here. Like, I mean, each month that passes is literally costs us tens of millions of dollars.
To save Tesla, Musk needed millions more from investors. His fortune was gone.
When we'd call people and say, hey, would you like to invest? They'd be angry that we just called. It's like, no, it's not only no, and various expletives. I remember waking up the Sunday before Christmas in 2008 and thinking to myself, man, I never thought I was someone who could ever be capable of a nervous breakdown. But I felt this was the closest I've ever come, because it seemed pretty dark.
Toward the end of 2008, SpaceX prepared its 4th attempt.
We were running on fumes at that point. We had virtually no money.
So a 4th failure.
A 4th failure would have been absolutely game over. Done.
SpaceX bankrupt.
Yeah, it's bad enough to have 3 strikes. Having 4 strikes, it's kaput.
But Flight 4 was flawless. In Musk's world, it lit the darkness.
NASA called and told us that we'd won a $1.5 billion contract. And I couldn't even hold the phone. It's like, I just blurted out, I love you guys.
They saved you.
Yeah, they did.
Financially and maybe even emotionally.
I'll tell you what, that was definitely helpful. Yeah.
2 days later, on Christmas Eve, Tesla's investors decided to pour in more money.
So you were saved in the period of 3 days by two completely unexpected events.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Any other tips on just managing to run two companies simultaneously?
And the interest, you have to apply a lot of hours to actually working. So the way I generally do it is I'll be working at SpaceX on Monday, and then Monday night fly to the Bay Area, then Tuesday and Wednesday in the Bay Area, then at Tesla, and then fly back on Wednesday night, spend Thursday and Friday at SpaceX. In the last several months, then I would fly back here on a Saturday and either spend Saturday and Sunday at Tesla or spend Saturday at Tesla and Sunday at SpaceX.
But I know that you've been working for almost 20 hours a day, so many different company parallel. How do you balance it?
Well, I mean, I should point out that a 20-hour workday is relatively unusual and rather painful. But I do sleep 6 hours a night. So, and if I sleep less than 6 hours a night, I find that I might be awake longer, but I get less done. But I do work a ridiculous amount, I think, relative to most people, in that it's pretty much 7 days a week, and mostly from when I wake up to when I go to sleep. Tesla went through some very difficult times where it was on the ragged edge of survival, and really, if I didn't give it everything I got, I think the company could have easily gone bankrupt. It was really on the verge of bankruptcy for quite a while.
So what does super hard mean? When my brother and I were starting our first company, instead of getting an apartment, we just rented a small office and we slept on the couch. And we showered at the YMCA. And we're so hot up, we had just one computer. So the website was up during the day, and I was coding at night. 7 days a week, all the time. So briefly had a girlfriend in that period, and in order to be with me, she had to sleep in the office. So work hard, like, every waking hour. That's the thing I would say, particularly if you're starting a company. Okay, if somebody else is working 50 hours and you're working 100, you'll get twice as much done in the course of a year as the other company. All those things improve the odds of success.
What drives you on a day-to-day basis to do what you do?
I guess I really want to make sure that there is a good future for humanity, and that we're on a path to understanding the nature of the universe, the meaning of life. Why are we here? How do we get here? And we need to secure the future of consciousness by being a multi-planet species.
Now is the time to take risk. As you get older, your obligations increase. And once you have a family, you start taking risk not just for yourself, but for your family as well. It gets much harder to do things that might not work out. So now is the time to do that before you have those obligations. So I would encourage you to take risks now. Do something bold. You won't regret it. Thank you.
There's a whole generation coming through who seem really sad about the future. What would you say to them?
Well, I think if you want the future to be good, you must make it so. Take action to make it good, and it will be.
오늘은 현실판 아이언맨이라고 불리는 인류 최강 일론 머스크에 관한 이야기를 소개해드렸습니다. 머스크는 테슬라와 스페이스X 말고도 다양한 분야를 넘나들며 사업을 하고 있다고 합니다. 일반적인 CEO라면 하나도 하기 힘든 사업을 여러 개를 운영하는 것을 봤을 때 정말 괴물같이 시간을 활용하는 것 같습니다. 그래서 일론 머스크는 기본적으로 밤낮 구분 없이 주당 100시간 이상씩 쉬지 않고 일한다고 해요. 또한 테슬라가 파산 위기에 처했을 때는 무려 주당 120시간을 일했다고 합니다. 일론 머스크가 이렇게까지 일을 할 수 있는 건 세상을 바꾸겠다는 비전 때문이라고 해요. 그래서 이런 말을 했다고 합니다. 일주일에 40시간 일해서는 세상을 바꿀 수 없다. 세상을 바꾸기 위해선 주당 100시간 이상씩 일을 해야 한다. 이 같은 포부와 실행력, 일하는 양만 보면 정말 스페이스X가 화성에 갈 수 있게 만들지 않을까 싶습니다. 그리고 보면 볼수록 성공한 사람들은 기본적으로 대부분 사람들보다 더욱더 열심히 산다는 걸 매번 느끼고 있어요. 그들을 성공시킨 또 다른 무언가가 있기는 하겠지만 기본적으로 압도적인 시간을 사용해서 생각을 현실로 만든 것 같습니다. 여러분들도 매 순간 가지는 시간을 낭비하지 마시고 원하는 꿈을 이룰 수 있도록 집중하고 성취하시길 바랍니다. 여러분들은 어떻게 생각하시나요? 감사합니다.